Hey everyone, 𝗦𝗢𝗗𝗦𝗢 here from BeyondGrappling.com and the University of Judo.com. Welcome to my session on goal setting for on the mat and off the mat. I want to say a big thanks to Nick from BJJ Motivation for inviting me on to do this kind of BJJ online summit, so thank you so much for that. I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Matt. I am a 4th degree black belt in Judo and a BJJ black belt under Felipe Grez. I've been doing Judo for 30 years and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 14-15 years. I run a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo club called BeyondGrappling Club, and I have an online presence with BeyondGrappling.com where I have a YouTube channel, articles, books, fitness and conditioning books, technical books, got stuff on BJJ and Judo fanatics as well. Married for 12 years this year, or 11 years this year, 12 years this year. Got 2 beautiful kids, Rocky, who's 5, and Bonnie, who's 2.5. So that is a little bit about me. I guess I'm best known for being a Judo Olympian and kind of starting Judo at a young age, trying to make the Olympics and making the Beijing Olympic Games, where I lost first round to a guy from Greece. So I was knocked out of the Olympics, no Olympic medal for me. Then I tried again for London in 2012. And missed out. Then I tried for wrestling for 2012, I missed out again, and then I retired from competition judo. Then I started doing a lot more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments kind of from 2012 to now, competing and that sort of stuff, just locally and things like that. So today I'm going to be sharing, I guess, my journey of goal setting. Am I a millionaire? No. Did I win the Olympics and World Championships? No. But I'm not a person that has set world records and achieved everything, but what I am is a person who does set goals, focuses on those goals, and try my best to achieve them. Do I achieve them all the time? No, I don't. So today I'm kind of giving you some strategies of, I guess, some strategies on goal setting, how to set goals, how to deal with negative people, how to evaluate your goals, and things like that. So I really hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions at all, please email me at beyondgrapplinghelp@gmail.com. and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you inbox me on Instagram or Facebook, I'll probably forget, but email is the best way for me. So I thought in this I guess, seminar, I'm going to be just sharing a bit of my story of how I started Judo, making the Olympics, and the goals and the challenges that come along the way. These principles can be applied to Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or in your everyday life, in your workplace, in your goals for your family and goals for your workplace and things like that. So let's get started. So I started Judo at 6 years old, and I started because I have an older brother, Malcolm, who beat me up every day. Okay, we wrestled before school, after school, we wrestled on weekends, we wrestled all the time. And my mum said, oh my gosh, these guys are driving me up the wall, what can we do? I'm going to put them into Judo. So she put us into Judo at 6 years old, and my brother and I were pretty good at it. I love that I'm small, I'm a lightweight, I fought at under 66 kilos, now in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I fight at 69 or under 67 for no-gi, and we were good at it. But I love that a smaller person could beat a bigger person through leverage and timing and obviously technique. Okay, so we really enjoyed that, and we started competing already at 6 years old. And then at about 8 years old, the black belt of that club said to my mum, look, your 2 kids are pretty good at Judo, Matt and Malcolm are pretty good, but to get to the next level of Judo, they're going to have to go to the club up the road where there's high-level Judo players, where they can be pushed to the next level, and they can, if they want to be competitive, they will be competitive at that club. So we moved from one club to another, and at this other club, all the coaches were training for the Atlanta Olympics, so 1996, and then they moved to training for the Sydney Olympics in 2000. So while I was training there and competing, I competed once a month from pretty much 7 years old right the way through. And as I would go to training, my coaches would coach me, and then I'd watch them train, and they would go to Korea or Japan or Europe or America, and they would come back fit, they'd come back strong, they'd come back with, you know, red raw cauliflower ears and black eyes, and they were just battle hardened. Then they'd go to tournaments and they'd win. And at about 11 years old, when I saw my coach Tom especially, he won the US Open, or he came second at the US Open. No, he won US Open, or second, whatever. He did really well at a tournament, and I remember thinking, I want to do that. I want to make the Olympic Games. I want to represent Australia at the Olympic Games, and I want to make the Olympics. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do at about 11, 12 years old. So my first thing for you is you're going to start setting some goals. Okay, so my goal was, so my first point is if I had my good handwriting, I'd write it down. Maybe I'll try. Set goals. Set goals. Okay, start setting some goals. Now, I was a primary school teacher, and when I wrote, kids cried because they couldn't read my handwriting. So I was an elementary school teacher for a little while, and before I started my club. So you're going to start setting some goals. So what do you want to achieve? What do you want to achieve? What's your long-term goal? So it's really important when you set goals that there's a long-term goal, that you have your eyes on the long-term goal, which is great. But then what you need to do is you need to take your eyes off the long-term goal. So there it is, you keep your eye on it all the time, but then you've got to take your eye off the long-term goal and focus on the medium and the short-term goals, okay? What the short-term goal is a stepping stone to medium, which is stepping stone to long. So your long-term goal might be, for me, to make the Olympic Games, okay? And that's my long-term goal. But I didn't know how to do it. So if you don't know how to do your goal, whatever it is, become a BJJ Black Belt, get your purple belt, run a club, run an academy, become a journalist, become a photographer. You are someone in the know. So I said to my coaches, Tom and Steve, how do I make the Olympic Games? I want to make the Olympics. That's what I want to do. And they said, okay, Matt, that's awesome. You're going to make the Olympic Games. That's your long-term goal. Great. But before you do that, let's just focus on making the state team. You've got to make the state team. So I trained really hard, I made the state team. I went to the national championships, I came first in my first nationals, and as I kept doing that, and then I said, cool, now what? They said, well, now you're going to make the junior national team. So I kept training, a few years later I made the junior national team. And they said, okay, Matt, now what? I said, now what? They said, okay, Matt, now you're going to make the senior men's team. So I trained really hard, I made the senior men's team. And then over time, I kept training really hard, I ended up qualifying through our region and making the Olympic Games in 2008. So I had my long-term goal was that, but you have to take your eye off the long-term goal and focus on the short and medium-term goals as a stepping stone to make it. Okay? Super duper important. Do you want to become a BJJ coach? That's your long-term goal? How are you going to get there? Ask your coaches. Go down to the local swim club. How do you become a swimming coach? How do you become a judo coach? How do you become a jiu-jitsu coach? How do you become this? Ask questions and they will actually dictate your path to your long-term goal. Do you want to win the next tournament? Okay, what do you need to work on? Do you want to become a black belt? Do you want to become a teacher? Do you want to be able to hit a flying armbar? Okay, what do you need to know in order to hit these particular throws or things that you want to do? What are your shorter goals, the stepping stone goals to your long-term goal? Okay, so really important to write your goals down. Okay, so write them down and keep them somewhere so you can see them. Okay, you got to write them down, and you have to see them regularly. So I'll put a photo up on the screen in a second. This is my vision board. Okay, check it out. It's in my office. And my vision board is broken down into different sections. There's a financial section, there's a health section, there's a judo and a jiu-jitsu section. There is a spiritual section, okay? There is a relationship section. So goals will be, relationship is to call my mum once a week, okay? It's in the front of my mind. It's to touch base with my coaches, okay? At least once a week, I try to, okay? You don't always hit your goals. My financial goal will be saving for a house or paying off your mortgage. Okay, your jiu-jitsu goals. So my jiu-jitsu goals this year is to get good at berimbolo, reverse de la Riva and de la Riva and dabbling in some truck. Okay, so that's my jiu-jitsu goals. And my judo goals will be working on a throw called 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 short of these goals, but it's important to get a vision board, write it down, and put it somewhere you can see it. Put it somewhere you can see it, because it'll help keep it focused. Jordan Peterson, in his book 12 Rules of Life, says this: you won't get something you don't aim at. You won't get something you don't aim at. Okay? You've got to aim at something, and you've got to look at it, and you've got to see it. You won't get something that you don't aim at. So what are you aiming for in all these different areas? And so it's really important not just have jiu-jitsu goals, but have health, mentality, spirituality. Spiritual might be to meditate or read the Bible or whatever it may be. What's your education level? What books are you going to be reading? So have good goals, write them down, make them plain so you can see them, okay? And you can run with that. Now, one of my friends has a vision board. It's his dashboard. He puts his goals on post-it notes and sticks it on the dashboard of his car. Then when he's driving in the car, all he sees is his goals on the dashboard. You can do that if you want. Mine's in my office. You can do that if you want. A friend of mine has his on his fridge. He has, when he used to be chiseled to pieces at 73 kilos, that's on his fridge because that's what he wants to look like. So whenever he goes to the fridge, he's like, oh, maybe not. Okay, so there's whatever it is, but write down your goals and think about them. What are they? What are the goals, your stepping stones? You won't have a good guard unless you aim for having a good guard. You won't have a great culture in your academy unless that's your focus, if you're not aiming for that. You won't have a solid side control escape sequence if you're not focusing on that at training. You won't have a good double leg unless you're focusing on that at training. What is your focus? My leg lock game sucks. I either win matches or I lose my leg locks. Okay, why? I'm actually not focusing on leg locks at the moment. I'm focusing on, like I told you, reverse de la Hiva, and berimbolo at the moment. That's my focus. That's what I really want to get good at. So that's what I've been focusing on. That's what I'm aiming for. And that's why a lot of competition players are really good, okay? Because competition forces you to improve. Losing forces you to improve. What do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to get better? Okay, so I remember one of my first jiu-jitsu tournaments back, I fought an older guy, a masters guy, and he put me in single leg X. And I was in single leg X, or one-legged X, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Alright, I've never had this done on me, the guys I train with at home. He had single leg, I could not figure out a way to pass single leg X. Okay, so what did I do? After the tournament, my coach said, Matt, to pass single leg X, you got to push the leg off the hip, you got to do this, you got to do that. I was like, oh, okay, because in the moment I didn't know. So what did I do? I did a one-on-one with my coach on single leg X. I got him to run a seminar. No, there was a seminar down the road that he ran on single leg X. Then when I went to the training, there was a club up the road. I went to training and I got a guy called Jordan who's really good at single leg X. Jordan, let's start in single leg X. Boom, he sweat me. Boom, he sweat me. Boom, he sweat me. Boom, he sweat me. But I started figuring out and focusing on single leg X. And then the next tournament, fighting this guy, I threw him. He got me in single leg X. Boom, pushed the leg off the hip, passed, got him in side control. He framed, bit of a scramble, got up. And I was like, that's cool. I just passed his single leg X. Like he didn't sweep me, didn't get a good position off it, didn't transition from it. And then we're fighting again. I did another takedown. He got single leg X. Boom, pushed the leg off the hip, passed his single leg X, got him in side control. I ended up beating him. But when the second time I pushed the leg off the hip and passed, I remember thinking in the competition, even if I lose this match, I've won. Because in the last tournament, the guy did single leg X, I had no idea what I was doing. Okay, but now this guy's pulled single leg X twice and I've passed twice, I've won. Even if I lose, I've won because I've improved. I've focused on something, I've aimed for it, and I've gotten better. And that was when I was a purple belt. In order to get to brown belt, I needed to start knowing how to pass these open guards, these more advanced guards that I call them, to get to the next level of my jiu-jitsu. And you're always doing that. So with your goals, write them down, make them plain, make them in a place you can see them. But then what you need to do is you need to immerse yourself in that goal, whatever that is. I've got my notes here. That's why I'm looking down sometimes. All right, you need to immerse yourself in those goals. And so for me, I wanted to make the Olympics. That's what I wanted to do. And everything for me from a young age was focused on the Olympics. I know the date of every Olympics in the modern era, where they were and the date of them. I know the crazy sports. When I used to go to the library, I'd go to the Olympic section. I'd pull out the Olympic books. I'd be reading the Olympic books. I know that they used to have live pigeon shooting and tug of war and solo synchronized swimming. All these weird sports that I know that were in the Olympics because I researched the Olympics. I immersed myself in the Olympic experience. When I would go to national training camps, I'd try to sit on the table where the Olympian was. They blew my mind. Okay, and so I immersed myself in the Olympics. I immersed myself in how to make the Olympic Games and what I needed to do to get there. And so I focused on tournaments. So I've only won the Senior Australian National Championships twice. And I've only won the Oceania Championships 3 times. Why? The National Championships were never really my focus. My focus was the Olympics. So if I came second, yes, I was upset. Yes, I needed to work on it, but it wasn't my main focus. My main focus was making the Olympics. So I immersed myself in that. I lost that tournament through single leg X, so I immersed myself in single leg X and X guard because they work hand in hand. So I could get a big view of it so it could actually help me get better. Like I said, I've been working on reverse de la Hiva, and berimbolo. So I've been watching the Mendez brothers. I've been watching the 𝗦𝗢𝗓𝗔𝗟. I've been watching Jason Rao. I've been watching all these guys to immerse myself in reverse de la Hiva and berimbolo, so I can start understanding the position, but I'm actually immersing myself in the goal that I'm working towards. You know, when I had to start my academy, I stopped working at the club I was working at, and in about 3 months' time I was going to open my club, my Beyond Grappling club. And I listened to everything on how to start a club, how to do direct debits, how to lesson plan, how to build a culture, how to have difficult conversations when people don't pay their membership fees, how to deal with parents, how to grade people. I immersed myself with podcasts and listening and reading so I could actually help achieve my goal. I was talking to a friend yesterday who I'm trying to help make the fire brigade, and he said to me, hey Matt, I've been doing the fitness, and because I'm doing the fitness with him, and I'm doing the aptitude testing, but I don't know how much they want me to know of the fire brigade. Like, do I need to know that they go to schools and talk about fire safety? Do I need to know that they put, fire things in the roof? And I said, yes. You need to immerse yourself in. You need to immerse yourself in the fire brigade. You need to know everything about it. You need to know what they do, where they go, where they sleep, where the stations are. If you immerse yourself in it, you'll be focusing on it and you'll probably make it. That's what they want. So your goals, are you immersing yourself in them? If you want to so people say to me, hey Matt, I want to work on the shoulder throw in judo. I go, cool, what videos are you watching? Oh, I'm not watching any. Well, really? Because if you want to get good at it, I suggest you watch 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦 and 𝗦𝗢𝗧𝗏 and all these kind of different people. You know, if you want to focus on leg locks, well, there's Craig Jones, there's John Danaher guys, there's Lachlan Giles. Like, immerse yourself in it and you're more likely to achieve it. Okay? More likely to achieve it. So I encourage you, write them down, see them regularly. It'll help keep you focused on your long-term goal. What's your long-term goal and what are your stepping stones to get there? So write them down, immerse yourself in them. So for jiu-jitsu, you can have a weekly goal. It might be, I just want to hit a half guard sweep, the roll under sweep, electric chair, whatever you want to do. What is it? Is it to not get subbed by the black belt or the competitive purple belt? Is it to hit a butterfly sweep? Is it just to get single leg X, but you don't do anything with it, but just to get it would be cool. And start going with that. Do you want to just re-guard that guy that always side controls you? Okay, do you want to escape the mat, the guy who holds you in the mat, you just want to get a quarter guard? Like, what is it? Your weekly goal, and you can just type in weekly, monthly goals in Google Images and come up with a template, and you can just write down your weekly goals and your monthly goals, and you can even put yearly goals, obviously. Okay, but it's hard technically. In the gym, you go, I used to bench press 95, now I bench press 100. I used to weigh 80, now I weigh 75. It's kind of clear cut. So in jiu-jitsu and judo, here are some things you can do. For judo, it might be this. Here's how to know if you're improving on technique. The first one, can you rep it smoothly? Can you do it smoothly on a cooperative partner? How does your throw feel? Is it sloppy or is it smooth? If it's smooth, then you're probably improving. If it's sloppy, if it feels sloppy, it's probably sloppy. That's the way I always ask people, how did it feel? Did it feel sloppy or smooth? Sloppy, cool. You don't need to ask me how it looks, you just feel it. And you can just feel it. You don't need to ask me how's it look, how's it feel? Can you do it moving? So can you do it moving? Is it sloppy or smooth? Can you see it when you spar? Can you see the hip throw? You might not get it, but can you see the opportunity, the space to do it? And can you enter for it in sparring? Just enter, not to hit it, but just to enter. Can you enter it? Now we look at finishing it. Can you throw a beginner with it in sparring? Can you throw a beginner? Can you throw someone smaller than you with it? Can you throw someone the same size as you? This is the next one. Can you throw a black belt who's bigger than you? And can you do it in competition with competition resistance? These are the levels that take months and years to hit with your technique. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it might be this. Can you rep it smoothly in training the technique? Is it sloppy or smooth? Can you do it moving in flow rolls? Sloppy or smooth? Can you see it when you roll? Can you see the triangle but not hit it? Can you see the X guard but not get it? Can you enter the berimbolo but not finish it? But can you see the opportunity? Can you just enter it for it? Can you enter it when you roll? Now we look at finishing. Can you do it on a beginner? Can you do it on someone smaller than you? Can you do it on someone your size? Can you do it on a black belt who's bigger than you? Can you do it in competition? If you follow these things in all your different areas, you'll start going, oh no, yeah, there's a X guard sweep I want to hit. I didn't hit it, but I got 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗥𝗑𝗦 5 times, and last week I only got it once. So you can actually start gauging how you are improving. You know, this competitive purple belt or brown belt subs me 10 times, but now he subbed me 8 times. In actual fact, he's only subbed me 10 times last time, 8 times this week, and this week it was only 7, but I swept him once. And so we want to be looking at it not from the sub, but just from I took someone's back. I went for back and they escaped, but I nearly got there. A week later, I took someone's back and they held seatbelt for a little while and they escaped. The week later, I took back, got seatbelt, they escaped, and I got mount. So you're starting to see yourself transition and progress. So write your goals down, see them, immerse yourself in them, evaluate them. The second one, that's setting goals. The second one's, I'll just write belief. You have to believe in yourself. Do you actually think you'll hit these things? Do you think you can? Goals take time. Things take time. Getting good at BJJ takes time. Yes, there's natural athletes that come in and they wreck people after a year. Cool. What about you? Don't worry about them. What about you? What about you? All your coaches at judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, submission grappling, whatever it is, they've been doing jiu-jitsu 10 to 15 years plus. They've been doing it a long time. So things just take time. Everything good in the world just takes time. Okay? Focus on yourself. And you've got to believe in yourself. So when I went to, like I told you before, I made the junior team, then I made the senior Australian team. But my first ever junior tournament, I went to New Zealand, I came second, and then I got selected to go to the Junior World Championships. Okay? And this was the first time I was outside our region. So I was in the Oceania region, so Australia, New Zealand, and all the islands. And then we got to go to the Junior World Championships. So we trained in the Czech Republic for a little while, then we went to Hungary and competed there. I drew a guy from the Dominican Republic. But the whole time I was thinking, oh man, I know I'm good in Australia because I'm winning the nationals, I'm winning tournaments. I know I'm good in our region because I can beat guys from our region. But fighting the best in the world, that's next level. They're going to beat me in 10 seconds. They're going to sub me in 10 seconds. And so I started freaking out. I didn't believe in myself. So I went out there, I drew a guy from the Dominican Republic. And came out, I'm going, this guy's going to throw me in 10 seconds. He's going to throw me in, I'm not going to last a minute. So I'm fighting. 10 seconds later, I'm still fighting. Fight. 30 seconds later, I'm still fighting. And I'm going, gee, I'm actually going all right. A minute later, I'm going, I'm still alive, I'm still going. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I'm still in the match. At the start of the match, I was like, oh, I'm going to lose in 10 seconds. 3, 4 minutes in, I'm like, you know what? I can beat this guy. I can actually beat some of the best in the world. 30 seconds ago, he went for a move, I did a big pick-up, leg grab, boom, won the match. I couldn't believe it. I went from 4 minutes earlier, I was like, not going to last 20 seconds, okay? Because I just didn't believe in myself, okay? And then I beat him. Oh, and I came off that going, I can actually hang with some of the best in the world. I can. Next match came out, lost in 30 seconds. All right, but I came away from the tournament going, I can hang with some of these guys. At the training camp in Czech Republic, I did all right against some of them, and I can do it. But it took me a little while to believe in yourself. You might be going, oh, I don't know if I can lose weight. Have you lost a kilo? You can lose weight. You can lift that weight. You can get that job. You can do that assignment. But it takes time to believe in yourself. Where are the little wins? Oh, I can't beat that guy, but did you take his back? Yeah, well, don't let him escape it. So you can do it. But it just takes time to looking at the little wins. So yeah, I lost the second round to a Korean in 30 seconds, but I came away from the tournament going, I can hang with some of the best in the world. It's just going to take time. So firstly is believe in yourself. The second one in the believe in yourself section is that people won't believe in you. People won't. When you tell them you want to do something, they'll go, yeah, but you probably can't. You want to be a black belt, but no one in your club's a black belt. How are you meant to become a black belt? You want to win that tournament, but no one in your club has ever won that tournament. So why do you think you could? No one in your state's even made ADCC. What makes you think you can? People are going to not believe in you. Okay? When I, like I said, I was a young age, 12 years old, I wanted to make the Olympics. And then when I was working, I used to work at a place where I used to run kids' birthday parties. And I'd run birthday parties, it was good fun. And then one Saturday afternoon, so I used to start at 9 to 5. So I'd go to the gym at 6 o'clock and I'd train. I'd work 9 to 5, I'd go back to the gym in the afternoon, I'd do weights. This is on a Saturday. And I was like, from 15 to 18, I did that. And one time after work, the boss said to me, "Say, Matt, what do you want to do after you finish school?" And I said, "Well, I want to make the Olympics for judo." And guess what he did? He started laughing. He goes, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. That's ridiculous. How could you make that? And I was like, 15. And I remember thinking, is this guy for real? Like, my coaches made the Olympics. And if I do what they did, then I can make the Olympics, firstly. Secondly, he only sees me on Saturday and Sunday. He didn't know that I was at the gym this morning at 6 o'clock doing an hour of cardio. He didn't know that I rode my bike here. I'm going to work 9 to 5, and I'm going to go back to the gym in the afternoon. I'm going to do weights for an hour. He doesn't know that. He only sees me here. And what he was showing me was it's his limitation, not mine. He can't make the Olympics, but doesn't mean that I can't. People in your life are they're going to either drag you down because they're jealous that you might be able to do something better than them, or they just think it's a limitation. They'll say stuff like, why don't you do something that actually makes you money? Like, you know, I always tell a story of Sir Edmund Hillary. He climbed Mount Everest, and they said, why'd you climb Mount Everest? He said, because it was there. It wasn't to make money. It wasn't it was just because it was there. Money is like the lowest form of, if you're doing it for money, sorry, it's going to be a lot harder to do, I think, for me. But maybe I'm not driven by that, okay? But some people maybe are, okay? Maybe you are. But it's really important. He was laughing at me. So people in your life will drag you down. Family members, friends, whatever. But I encourage you to not listen. You know, and have you ever seen a duck in water? They always lick themselves. They lick themselves, right? The duck actually is covering itself in this oil, right? So that the water just runs off their feathers, okay? And I encourage you that as you believe in yourself, you'll get this oil over you, and that when people speak negatively of you, it'll just wash off you, okay? So you'll hear the negativity and you'll let it wash off you, okay? So it's really important that you believe in yourself, you set your goals, and don't let other people's limitations dictate your limitations, okay? If I told Gordon Ryan that you can't win worlds in 6 years of training, or you couldn't get a black belt in, 2 years or 4 years or whatever he did, he'd laugh at me and go, just because you can't doesn't mean I can't. He'd laugh at me. So, laugh at people. When they laugh at you, laugh right back and go, listen, I respect what you're saying, but I'm just going to let it wash off me like that duck. And you know, at tournaments, I always tell this story when I go to schools and tell them, I speak to schools and hopefully motivate them to chase their dreams, that at local tournaments around Australia, there'll be one guy that you'd fight your first match and he'd say, oh, yeah, you're looking a bit slow, Matt. You're looking a bit fat too. It was hard to make weight. You really struggle with that guy. I thought you were better than that. And at a young age, I was like 15, 16, 17, I'd be like, really? Like, am I really looking that slow? Because I've been training really hard. Yeah, but you've got so-and-so next. I reckon he's got your number. I reckon he can beat you. And I'd be like, really? And it would drag me down. I'd start doubting myself, that I was fighting slow, and that this guy who's a black belt doing judo 50 years. And then one day, I was standing just here, and one of my friends walked past. Evo, it was Evo dos Santos. And this guy says to Evo, hey Evo, man, you're looking a bit fat. You're looking a bit slow. And I was like, oh, this guy says negative stuff to everyone. It wasn't personally to me. It was to any young, up-and-coming athlete that showed potential. He just wanted to drag him down. So I realized then, people just want to drag you down. People that are in the know because they're jealous that you'll either beat their players or you'll get further in life than they did, and they will try to drag you down. And they might be a higher belt than you, they might be 3rd, 4th, 5th degree black belt, they might be whoever it is. But they will try to drag you down because they're jealous or their own insecurities. So I really encourage you, when you're setting your goals, set them, believe in yourself. Look at the little wins, and your goals, your weekly goals will help you see the little wins. Yeah, you got subbed 6 times, but you swept the guy once. Yeah, you got subbed 5 times, but you took their back and they took them 30 seconds to escape rather than 10 seconds. You know, you re-guarded twice, you went for a triangle, they passed. But the weekly goals will help you believe in yourself. Okay, the weekly goals will help you believe in yourself. And as you believe in yourself, it'll actually help you out. Negative people, be that duck. Let them speak to you and let it just wash off you. Yeah, cool, man, you can listen. Let it wash off you. You listen, just be that duck. Okay? And chatting about your goals. Just want to read Atomic Habits by James Clear, I think it is. Atomic Habits is a good one to read about habits and that sort of stuff, and breaking habits and start making habits. Okay, but as you set goals, as you believe in yourself, challenges will come along the way. Challenges will come along your way. Michael Jordan says this: if you're trying to believe, there will be roadblocks. I've had them, everyone's had them. But obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. Figure out how to climb through it, climb over it, go through it, or work around it. What are the challenges in your life? Okay? What are they? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention here, the negative people. Write them down. Who are the people that are always negative? That always drag you down? Write them down, and then decide afterwards to let it wash off you. So don't avoid them, because you can't avoid family members that drag you down. You can't avoid friends that drag you down sometimes, alright? You can't avoid people at tournaments that are going to drag you down. So you need to learn how to take it and let it wash off. Take it, guard your heart with all diligence, okay? Guard your heart, guard those thoughts, and let it wash off you. So write them down, write all those people down, and then kind of make a pre-decision that when they speak negatively to you, that you're not gonna listen. Okay, so do that. So challenges will come your way. Challenges like negative people. Challenges like not believing in yourself. But for me, a big challenge was knee operations. Okay, I trained hard. I trained stupidly, and I got my first knee operation. I was 18 or 17. My next one I was 18. My next one I was 19. I had 5 knee operations by the time I was 21. I had 1 knee reconstruction and 5 meniscus cutouts or stitches, okay? So my knees are pretty shot, all right? And it caused problems, okay? So leading into the Beijing Olympics, my main rival was a guy from Sydney who was very, very good. Really tight game, and he was always stronger than me. And I was small, under 60 kilos. I weighed about 64, so I used to cut weight. And I could bench like 85 maybe. Then I had my knee reco. I was out for 13 months. The surgeon said 12 months. This is back in 2007, 2008. No, 2004, 2005. I've had so many knee operations I get confused. And of which one's which. But I had a full 13 months off training. And for a guy that trained twice a day, 6 days a week, it's pretty tough. When you couldn't make trips and tournaments that you got selected for, but sorry, I'm injured, I can't go. Then you go down on the selections on the national table, you get no funding. Okay, so you need funding to do trips overseas and all that sort of stuff. So massive, massive blow. Okay, challenges, maybe no money. How are you going to work around it? I had 3 jobs. I worked at the fun factory, I gardened my boss's house, and I worked at a service station, a gas station. Okay, so I had 3 jobs. What are you doing to work around it? So for me, had the knee reconstruction, what can I do? I'm not that strong, I didn't get strong. So I switched to a bodybuilding program and I got jacked. I went up to like 72 kilos. I could bench 115 for 1 rep and I could rep about 105. I could rep 160 kilo deadlift and I did 1 rep of 180. So I got way strong. Then when I started when I had to come back to judo, I switched my program to a strength-based program. I lost all the muscle that I put on, but I kept the strength. So I went from benching 115 to about 110, 1 rep. So I lost a little bit of max strength because I didn't have the bulk to kind of help it out, but I got way stronger. And when I came back to training, and then every night I'd lay in bed and I'd do 100 moves. I'd do 100 shoulder throws in my head, 100 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗏, or for jiu-jitsu I do 100 triangles, do 100 arm bars, do 100 double legs, just thinking about it. I lay in bed, think about it, doing mental imagery. Then when I came back to training, I was wrecking people. And my training partners were saying, Matt, you've had 13 months off. It feels like you haven't like had a week off, because I was so strong. I was so fit. Then I came back and that guy beat me by a little bit. Stephen beat me by a little bit. Then he beat me by a little bit less. Then he beat me by a little bit less. That guy who I said was my main rival. And then I beat him. Then I beat him for the Olympics. But it was all because I was stronger. But I still didn't beat him straight away, but I chipped away at it. So, like I said, for me, injuries were a big one. What are the challenges in your life what you need to work around, okay? And sometimes when I go to schools and people say, oh, I really want to make the Australian swimming team, but my parents don't, believe in me, or I want to become they don't believe in me. So I tell people that you don't tell people your goals, you show them your goals. You don't tell people you want to make the Olympics, you show them you want to make the Olympics or become a black belt by how you live your life. So I know a guy who used to work at the gym. I worked at a gym where there was a swimming pool. This guy, the gym would open at 6, but the pool would open at 5 for all the swimmers. And he was always waiting for the gym to open. And I said to him, why are you here every morning at 6 a.m? And he said, my daughter told me I want to make the Australian team for swimming. So I told her, well, they train at 5 o'clock every day. I'm not waking you up. Either you wake me up and I'll take you to the pool, but if you don't wake me up, I'm not taking you to the pool. He goes, it's been 5 years. She wakes up every day at 5 o'clock and wakes me up and I have to drive her here. So I may as well exercise while I'm here. But there's an element of she showed him, I want to make it by doing these things. Sometimes people say to me, I really want to do this and do that. I'm like, well, you don't even come to training. How can you win the next tournament when you don't even come to training? Like, show me you want to win the tournament by coming to training all the time. Okay, so show people your goals. Because that's if one of the challenges is people aren't believing in you. It's because you might not be showing them that you're worth believing in. Okay? So when I help people in different areas, that's why I said, oh, what do you want to work on? I want to work on 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦. Cool, who have you been watching in 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦? I haven't watched anyone. Well, you'll show me you want to work good on 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦 when you're watching Michelle Nicolini and all these other 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦 specialists. You'll show me that you want to get good at it by showing me, by researching it yourself. You're showing me. Okay? So, COVID-19's here. That's the challenge at the moment is we can't train. So what are you doing to get stronger, fitter, faster, more knowledgeable? Like I said, for me, I'm watching Reverse De La Riva, the Mendez brothers, and all these guys to kind of get good at these positions to get a deeper understanding of it. I have some friends who want to learn German, some's learning Japanese. Okay, but what are you doing in COVID-19? That's a challenge. What are you going to do? What skill are you going to learn? What are you going to get a deeper understanding of? You run an academy? What have you been really slack with at your academy? Is it culture? Is it takedowns? Okay, that you're not really that familiar with, and spend this time to improve yourself somehow. Okay, and that brings me on to my next point. Nearly done. Never stop. Never stop growing. Never stop growing. You probably can't even read it anyway, sorry about that. Never stop growing. Never stop pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Never stop learning. Okay, I remember listening years and years ago to a 𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗦 podcast with Joe Rogan, and he had this quote in it. He said he used to hit this single leg takedown, and he would hit this setup on everyone. It doesn't matter who it was, they've been wrestling for a week or 50 years and they were world champions, he could hit this single leg takedown. And he hit it, and he hit it, and he hit it. He'd go to tournaments and he'd hit it, and he'd hit it, and he'd hit it. And his coach said to Tito, hey man, if you live by that, you're going to die by that. If you live by that move, that's great. But as soon as they figure out the defense, you're going to die by that. You'll have no other takedowns to do because you're only focusing on one thing. And for me, I got really good at the fireman's carry. Boom. And I've got a DVD, fireman'scarry.com. It's on BJJ Fanatics. I could hit the fireman's carry on so many people. It was awesome. People would fight me and I'd pick them up and throw them in 30 seconds. I'd beat them easily. I'd go to training and I'd say to myself, here's this black belt. I'm going to see if I can throw him 30 times in 5 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. I'd smash these guys. And then I'd go training camps, boom, I'd get all the juniors, the small, 60 kilo, 15-year-olds, bash, bash. I'd smash them all. Then the International Judo Federation said, judo looks too much like wrestling. We're all bent over, we do fireman's carries, we do double legs. Let's remove all fireman's carries and all double legs. And we now have to focus on only judo-style moves. And there's a whole thing on why that happened and all the rest of it. But regardless, overnight, my judo was gone. My judo was gone. I'd go to the training, I couldn't throw green belts with an outside trip, 𝗦𝗘𝗗𝗦𝗢𝗦. I couldn't throw them. I couldn't do anything anymore because all my judo was gone. And why? Because I never stopped growing. I got really good at something and I just kept doing it. Why? Because my ego gets in the way. And we've all been there. You kind of go, oh, I got a wicked triangle. I'm not going to hit it. Oh crap, I can't sub this person with a 𝗦𝗢𝗧. I'll do the triangle. Just to sub them once in the roll because, they can't go away from the roll thinking, hey, they didn't sub me. And so my ego got in the way. And what happened was my main rival, this happened in 2010. And the Olympics started 2010 to 2012 is the Olympic selection period. And then 2012. So I had to reinvent my entire judo game within an Olympic training cycle. And that happened because I didn't stop growing. I didn't say, hey, here's this 30-year-old black belt that's been doing judo 30 years and I'm a 22-year-old athlete. Rather than throwing them 20, 30 times, how about I work on the moves I'm not very good at? How about I work on the inside trips and the drop shoulder throws? How about I work on these other things to improve? So that if I get injured or something happens and I lose a weapon, what other weapon do I have in my arsenal? So never stop growing with your goals. Yes, you got a good triangle, awesome, stop hitting it. Do the triangle, switch to an armbar, switch to an 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦, switch to the toe hold from the 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦, let them re-roll, but actually stop subbing people. But you know what's going to happen? You'll go, sometimes I go for weeks without subbing any of my students. I go for a week, why? Because I'm trying to hit a triangle and my triangles suck. So I'm trying to hit a triangle and there's an element of me that go, oh, they're going to think, well, Matt hasn't subbed me, but who cares? What it is me trying to improve and get better. And I've got to shut down my ego and go, yes, I could hit him, yes, I could hit a 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦 all the time, or yes, I could hit my gi chokes, yes, I could hit 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦, but let's remove them and start working on my terribleness, my stuff that I'm not very good at, to get better at it. So, for example, I had a pretty good closed guard one time, and then I tore my adductor tendon. So as soon as I pulled closed guard, if someone just pushed on my knee to open my guard would just open. My closed guard was gone. Zero. Kaput. So what do I have to do? Switch to butterflies. Then my butterfly guard got really good because I was injured. I couldn't do closed guard. Then my butterflies are really good. But when they stood up, now I do X guard and single leg X. And so because of the injury, it's now allowed me to work on other things. But if I was never injured in the first place, I'd just keep doing closed guard. But injuries force you to get better. But rather than forcing something, just try to go, here's this guy, rather than subbing them 20 times with the triangle, just hit the triangle and flow. What's the next step, next step, next step, next step, next step? And that means you've got to push your ego down. It's just training and help you get better. Another thing as well I found was, as a judo player, I was fit. I was strong. I was powerful. I was a machine athlete. But then after a little while, I stopped doing any explosive training. I just do judo and jiu-jitsu now. I don't do anything else. Guess what? My power's gone. My speed, I'm not as fast as I used to be. And guess what I found? My technique sucks. For so long I was throwing people through with sheer power and speed and athleticism. And once that's removed, I'm only left with the technique that I have, which I found it was not much. It's still, what I'm getting at is, this person who I could throw 30 times, I now can't throw them because I don't have the speed and power that I did before. So I encourage you to never stop growing is to focus on technique. Yes, you can pass guard by exploding past. That's great. But when you get that knee injury or a shoulder injury, and you can't move as quick, how are you going to pass guard now? Slowly and methodically. How do you do that? By a deeper understanding of technical principles. Yes, speed is an element of technique. Yes, power is an element of technique. But remove all physical attributes from yourself and just focus on technique. Now in competition, yes, use all those physical attributes plus technique. But in training, really, really focus on technique. That way, your technique will always improve. And if you get injured and you lose the speed, who cares? You have the technique to back it up, rather than the speed to back up the lack of technique. So I encourage you to do that. And John Maxwell says this in one of his, he's a self-development expert. He's got a bazillion books. He writes this: change is inevitable, growth is optional. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And he talks about this idea of two things: accidental growth and I wrote inevitable, sorry. And the other one is intentional growth. Accidental growth, intentional growth. Accidental growth is, I'll just come to jiu-jitsu 3-4 days a week and I'll get better. That's accidental growth. Yes, you will. And the growth will be like this. You'll grow. You'll grow. That's accidental growth, actually. What about that? Intentional growth is setting goals, evaluating your goals, weekly goals that you're seeing all the time that you're focused on. Intentional growth is this. You'll improve much faster with intentional growth. So you have a choice to make. You can be accidental, just turn up and do whatever the coach says. So at our club, at our academy, To help this, we do weekly blocks. We do a week of half guard. The no-gi advanced guys will be doing half guard, and the fundamentals will be doing half guard. And a week later, we'll do closed guard attacks, the whole week, so we can all focus on something, okay? And that way, it's going to help you out. Now, just on this, intentional growth. Intentional growth is, you want to get good side control escapes. How are you going to do that? Immerse yourself. Watch the DVDs. Do a one-on-one with your coach. Attend that seminar, okay? That's on that. And then drill it. Immerse yourself in it. But intentional growth is actually where we'll grow a lot. This is one reason why usually competitors are harder to fight than recreational. Not always. And I find in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, there's way more wickedly good recreational players and still good competitors. But at Judo, usually the recreational ones are okay, but the competitors are really hard. But in Jiu-Jitsu, I find there's still some really wicked good recreational players. But why? Why? Because they're intentional. My triangle escapes suck because I got triangle twice on the weekend, so I'm going to work on that. So competitors, that's why competition is so good. Competition keeps you focused. Competition watches your diet, watches your exercise. It gets you out of your comfort zone, and it is intentional with your growth. That's why competition is such a great avenue. And self-defense. If you can't fight someone that you know that you're out to fight in 5 minutes, how are you going to fight someone down the street that's trying to fight you? So competition that's my little spiel on competition. It's so good for you. And if you've got kids, even better. Because when you lose, they'll see you lose and they'll see you try again at the next tournament. They'll go, wow, even when mum or dad loses, they try again. Your students, when they see you lose and they see you, go, thanks mate, that was a great role, I love it. And they go, I'm going to come back and work on this. And you go do the next tournament, they go, wow, even my coach loses and he tries again, I'm going to do the same. So we're a good role model for people. But intentional growth. So I'm going to just leave you with this, with a charge. Do you want to be an accidental growth person, or do you want to be an intentional growth person? I really encourage you to be intentional growth. And to do that, start setting goals. Look at them often. Immerse yourself. Train yourself. Look at them often. Believe in yourself. It takes time. Look at the little wins from your weekly goals. Look at your little wins. Don't listen to people. Be that duck. Let it just flow off you. Let it just flow off you. Don't let other people's negativity stop you from achieving your goals. Okay? Navigate challenges in your world by looking for a new way of doing things. I got injured with my knee. I got strong. COVID's now hit. What are you going to do to improve your jiu-jitsu? You can go back to immersing yourself. Fixing the niggly injuries. Being able to do the splits. Learn German. Spend more time with your family. Whatever it is. How are you looking at improving yourself and finding another way? And never stop growing. Seeking and looking at new ways to improve yourself. This means leaving your ego at the door. Maybe you're going to lose for a little while. But Michael Jordan has another quote. And he says, I've missed the game-winning shot. I've missed this. I've missed that. I've lost so much. And that's why I win. The more you lose and you learn, the more you'll win. Okay, so super important to leave your ego and never stop growing. So I encourage you to set goals, believe in yourself, challenges will come your way, and never stop growing. And these are keys that you'll do in all areas of your life. Am I professional at it? No, I'm not. But I've learned over time that it's all interlinked. Okay? But I encourage you, I really hope that helped you. Be an intentional growth person, not accidental growth. Take control of your own growth in your personal world, in your finances, in your family, in your relationships, in your health, in your well-being, in your spirituality. And you'll just have a great life. And you'll be able to teach your family to chase goals, to pick yourself up when you lose, to pick yourself up when you don't make it. But keep learning, keep growing. And I really hope that helped you. Please, if you have any questions, please email me at beyondgrapplinghelp@gmail.com. Follow me on Facebook, Beyond Grappling, Instagram, Beyond Grappling, Twitter. I'm not really on there that much, but he's at Beyond Grappling as well. And really hope that helped you. If you have any other questions, by the way, I also have 2 books on Amazon. One's called Effective Goal Setting So You Can Win at Life, which I cover a lot of this stuff, so you can read it. I also have another book called Hard Fought Lessons, which is aimed at teenagers looking at chasing and setting goals. And if you want to buy that, it is on Amazon as well. But other than that, thank you so much, Nick and the team, for having me. Thank you so much for joining me on this webinar. I really hope you liked it. If you need me for any kind of seminars or speeches or whatever, feel free to hit me up. But have a great week, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.